Good morning and welcome to Odoo Live. My name is Noel, Community Manager here at Odoo San Francisco. Today I'm joined by one of our Customer Success Managers, Justine, to talk about Odoo invoicing and invoicing for service companies. Welcome, Justine.
Hi, thank you so much for watching and joining us today. Today I'm going to talk about invoicing for service companies. I'm going to show you how to configure your company, how to configure all your database, and highlight the key settings that we have in Odoo. The example I'm going to take today is one of a law firm, and I'm going to show you the workflow for that.
Excellent. So, of course, over the course of this webinar, if you have any questions that you would like Justine to address, you can ask them in the chat and we'll answer them at the end during our Q&A session. Additionally, if you showed up late or would like to watch this webinar again at another time, whenever it's convenient for you, use the link that you're using right now to watch us and watch it again, day or night at your convenience. So, without further ado, take it away, Justine.
Yeah, let's go. So everybody, here I am in my Odoo database. I'm going to show you how to configure your database from scratch in case you're a new user. Also, just a useful reminder. There's a few things we want to go through. The first one, I want to show you what apps I've downloaded today. First, the sales app, so the sales management, where we're going to actually create our invoices from. We also have a project app. You will see how it's good to keep track on all the projects ongoing in your companies. We also have the Timesheets app that is integrated with all the different apps in Odoo. And we have another extra app that's like the accounting app. Today's accounting is not the main topic of our presentation, but I will show you how it's useful to actually also keep track of, obviously, all your invoices. Another few applications that it's worth mentioning here is the contact app, where you're going to keep track of all your contacts. They could be vendors or customers or employees apps. And this app is actually very important as well. On kind of like an extra I wanted to show you as well today is our Studio app that actually allows you to customize your applications and your database. It's here and appears here. I will show you very quickly. And that's how I downloaded my great background. Let's start and configure your company. So today I told you we are in a law firm, which start obviously like how a law firm invoice its client is through the time they spend on different tasks for the client, and therefore they will need the timesheets. The first step we need to take, configure this company. I'm going to go here, and I hope you can see my screen. I'm going to go in my company. I've pre-configure my law firm here. I just want to show you quickly. You can also, Odoo allows you to have multi-company, which is also very great. This is my law firm. If I click the edit button, have different information about my law firm, the address, the email. You can add your bank account. You can add a logo, which I've done here. This is very simple. That was the very first step we wanted to take. Let's go back and go actually in our employees app. Here I'm going to have basically an overview, and depending on the view you want to take, just as a quick note, you can change the view here in Odoo. The overview of all my employees in the law firm. Here I've again added a few ones just to show you how it works. You can add as many as you want. Let's create one just on the go right now. I'm going to call it a senior lawyer. Let's not give it a real name for now. The senior lawyer, I can add again, ask for your everything in Odoo, different information, their work email. I could just say that they call senior lawyer at lawfirm.com. I can add the job position, the department, the manager. Let's say that I'm going to be the manager, as I'm the admin of the database and the partner in the law firm. I can add private information about the work permit, for example, very important in the US. And I have on the remaining tab here, I've not gone through yet, but it's actually very important for a webinar today, is the HR settings app. In this tab, I am going to be able to display the cost per hour for an employee. As you know, obviously, different employees cost different amount of money. For a company, we pay them differently, and their work costs different costs for the client. Let's say that my senior lawyer is actually going to be billing $200 an hour. I am the timesheet responsible, so I can manage the timesheet, approve them, and as the partner, obviously. And what's remaining here is a related user tab. The related user tab, you can use it in case that you have your employees having their own Odoo accounts. Here I've not created different employees databases and accounts for the purpose of this webinar, but that's very useful if you want your employees to actually add their own timesheets, and then you can still monitor it, but that's easy for entry purposes. Let's go ahead and save it. You can obviously also add their pictures if you have it. We have our employees set up. We have a company set up. Very quickly, we have something that we want to still set up is all different contacts. So the contacts app is going to have all the contacts you want, the customers, the vendors, anything. And also your company is still here. I want to create a new client to show you how to go about it. I'm going to call it, for example, civil case client. I'm not giving it a real name here. I want to add, I could add a few information about the address, the email, everything. So for example, civil case at civilcase.com. The language as well, which is, if you don't know different languages, that could also appear here. Very quickly, I mentioned Studio, which allows you to customize your apps and your database. That's why Studio is great. You click here, and you, first I have to save it, sorry. Yeah, and you click here, and you have access to all these options to customize your database, which is great. So the new file is something I've added before. I could choose to have my contracts with my client on this sheet with all the client contacts. So my new file is going to be contract with the client. It's downloaded, easy, I just close it, and it appears now on the client. So those new files, for example, are not something that's pre-configured in Odoo, so you will need a Studio app, but it's a great thing to keep all the information about the client in a particular way, rather than through your email or different folders on your computer. I have my clients now, so I think we might have lost it. Civil case client. I'm going to save it. Go back to my dashboard. I have now like different clients. I can again add more, add vendors, add anything type of contacts I have to have for my company. But here I have enough to show you. So now let's start the invoicing process as we have configured our database, as it's also the topic of our conversation today. I'm going to go ahead and go on the sales app. The sales app, it's a great way to create sales order, but also to have a product catalog. I want to quickly show you how to create a product. A product under Odoo can also be a service, as we are in the topic of service companies. First step you want to do is go in your setting and configure your app. Again, Odoo is very flexible and allows you to configure your apps in different ways. I want to really quickly show you that as we're a service company and we invoice per hour, I want to make sure that we have the hours as a unit of measure in our billing. For that, you simply click it. I've already done it before. And you can review the units of measure that Odoo actually allows you to use. There are different ones. This is the pre-defined list, but you could go ahead and create new ones. I have my hours. That's what I want to use today anyway. I'm back in the settings. I've saved it, and I can go ahead and create my next product. So let's take ourselves here in the product catalog with different products I've already added to my database. Of course, I want to go through the products with you and show you how to create a product. Again, you can see it in different views, depending on how you prefer it. Don't forget that Odoo allows you to filter and group things through the different products. Today, not really relevant, but so you know. So let's go ahead and create one of our products. So today, I'm going to create a product which is going to be a service. So here we have, let's say that client call is going to be one of the services that we're doing. What's important here, actually, it's to select the service as a service here and not as a product that you can consume. I'm deciding for this product, it's not taxed. That, again, you can configure yourself. And I'm going to say that the client call is a certain sales price per hour. I am clicking hours as I've pre-configured that as well. And let's say that, for example, a client call, I'm going to charge it $120 per hour. Next step I'm going to take here for this invoicing for service companies is going to go on the sales tab. And these are the different options that appear for us today. So just a quick overview of the different options. Then I'm going to choose one that's more relevant for my presentation and my law firm. Of course, that's up to you and up to the business model you're actually going for. Quickly, the invoice is going to be based on order quantities in case you're selling a package of hours to your clients in advance. So if you decide that you're selling 50 hours in advance and you don't need to timesheet those on the go, you will select this option. Timesheet on tasks is when you want to invoice the client based on the tasks that are completed by your employees and tracked on the timesheets as we have. Milestones is if you decide that you're going to invoice your client after every, for example, 10 hours spent on a task. You can also set this. Then you have the service tracking. You have, again, like different options here. I actually advise you to use the project and the tasks. So it means that each time you create a sales order for a client and you want to show them how you want to send them a quotation, for example, you want to actually have a new project that's created from there. And I'm going to show you why it's very useful. So I'm going to create a task in a new project each time it's actually a sales order is created. Here I have a few projects I've already predefined. I could also not fill this and it will be created based on the name of my sales order. But I'm going to say that here we are on the civil lawsuit. I'm going ahead and saving those parameters for the product. Going back, again, you have all my products here appearing. I can go ahead, create more, but we don't really need it for today. Let's go and start a quotation, which is going to be the real aspect of our invoicing here for our law firm and our clients. We're going to go ahead and create a quotation. So obviously, first, when you agree with a client to invoice them for something, you want to have a quotation created and show them how much money it's going to cost them. Remember, here we have a customer, and that's why I wanted to actually set up that in the contact app. I have my civil case client that I've set up with you today. We can have, again, payment terms, quote validity. I want to show you as well in Odoo what's great is you don't have to reopen the contracts app to modify your contract. You can go straight from here. So if I wanted to edit my contract from here, I could already do it. No need right now, but just wanted to show you this little detour. Then I'm going to have the product, which is important. What am I invoicing the client for? What is the sales order I'm going to send them? I'm going to add a line, and I have my different products that I've pre-configured here. What's great as well is I could create a product here straight from the go. No need though, because I've already created my product, but that's if you have a new product that's coming up in just when you're creating a sales order. I select my client call. Again, I have here the possibility to edit my product on the go, which is awesome. I could change the price here if I decided actually I want to review the prices of my product. I can change the way it's going to be done. And here I wanted to tell you I'm going to put the timesheets on tasks as we are in a law firm, and it's more relevant for a case. I'm saving it. The order quantity is the quantity you agree with your clients from the start. You will see that with timesheets, obviously, you can change those, or you can go over the time and then invoice for this overtime spent on the case. But let's say that here on client call, it's going to spend, for example, 5 hours of client call. Lawyers like to talk anyway. So here, this is the pre-quotation that you're going to send to your client. Another very quick tip I'm going to give you in terms of your accounting is that you can have a chart of account actually created through a project or a sales order. So here I have a civil lawsuit project, and I'm going to click it, and you're going to see later on why it's actually really helpful. I have my product. I could add more product, but here I'm going to stay simple and just save it. So you have this, you have sent it to your client, you can have the option to send it by email. That's why you want to have like your email configured in for the client. You could add it again here on the go. I'm not going to send it, obviously, because it's not a real client at the moment. Once a client agreed to the quotation and we can go ahead with the service, we're going to confirm the sales. And that's when we're going to start our real timesheets and invoices. So what happened here, I wanted to show you, is that we have some task that's been created through the sales order. And that's when I'm going to start actually invoicing the client. So I'm on my task created automatically from the sales order. So you don't even need to go through the project app. That's actually really great. You're going to be able to actually timesheet the time you spent or your employee has spent through like different ways. This is the first way. You're on your task. I'm just going to press the timesheet button. The timesheet button, just as a kind of like extra information, is only here because I have the timesheet app pre-downloaded and installed on my database. I don't have to go through the timesheet app itself, but this won't appear if you haven't added the timesheet app to your database. So don't forget to do so. I'm going to go ahead and actually add some time that one of my employees has been spending on this client call for this particular civil lawsuit. Let's say that employee has been spending the time was the senior lawyer. I'm selecting it, and I'm going to say that this was like the intro call with the client to review fast documents. So remember, we ordered 5 hours. So that was the quantities on the first sales order. Let's say that actually our senior lawyers, because again, they love to speak, they have spent 7 hours instead of 5. I'm going to just like have 5 hours spent and save it. You see a -2, but this is not an issue actually, because I will show you how to invoice those 2 extra hours spent by our lawyer. Very quickly, I told you there was another way to timesheet in Odoo. And again, because Odoo is an integrated solution, you can actually go through different ways to do different type of actions. I can decide to timesheet through the timesheet app, which might be more convenient for you, or if you prefer the view of this. I just go to all the timesheets. You're going to see all the timesheets I've actually input before. And I can add a line. And again, I can choose that it was like for this civil lawsuit. And the task was a client call again, for example. And this one was performed from my, for example, junior lawyer. I save it. And you see it appearing here. It was today. And I can add the hours from here. Again, it's going to be added automatically. You don't even have to press enter. Let's go back to our sales order and our tasks. And look what happened. You have done it through the timesheet app. But what happened is like actually it was recorded again under the sales app. That's why Odoo is always integrated. So now we have actually 10 hours spent on the client course, but we only have quoted 5 hours for the client. This is not an issue again. And this is when we are going to invoice the client. Let's say after 10 hours, we decided we want a bit of money. We're going back to the sales order, and we're going to create an invoice. And the invoice is going to be based on the invoiceable lines that were created from the timesheet. I'm going to go ahead, create an invoice. And you see that 10 hours was spent for a unit price of $120 per hour. And that's what I'm going to quote my client, and I'm going to validate the invoice. So here we go. Our invoice got validated. We can now register payment and take different type of actions. A very quick thing I wanted to show you, and that's why like the HR settings tab was actually very important, is that we have different costs depending on which employee is going to work on the task. We didn't choose to invoice our clients based on which employee has been working on, which we could have done, and I'm going to show you very quickly how. But basically, or sales order have been tracking which product we're working on and has created an account, an analytic account straight from that. If I click on that, I'm going to have actually an overview of the cost and revenue for this. So we have different things that appear. It's going to be the cost of the employee and also the money we've made from it. So again, if you want to go on your accounting app, you're going to see that under the analytic entries, you can have an overview of how much your employees have cost you, how much money you've made. Again, I told you in Odoo you can filter, so I'm going to choose to show you by employee how much money they cost us. I don't forget to apply it. And here I have the different employee. I have the senior lawyer has cost us that much actually to work on that civil lawsuit. You can see the cost of the junior lawyer with an analytic account, which is the project they've been working on. Another thing I wanted to quickly show you is a very simple tool that Odoo actually has, is how to track your timesheet when you're on the go or working with a client. You can add the awesome timesheet, which is available on the Chrome Web Store or the Apple Store or even on Google Play. And that's also available on your mobile device, so you can add it to your mobile device and track this instead of using a timer or just check your watch. So you make sure that actually you're invoicing for the right amount of timesheets. Another quick thing I wanted to show you under the timesheets configuration is the invoicing policy. So let's say that you have your different employees having an Odoo account and they themselves input timesheets under the account of the client, but you want to actually monitor those and make sure that actually they have well the time they should have done. So you can select approve timesheets only, and you will be able, as the manager of the employee, to review the timesheet before you invoice the client, which can be very useful for example, junior employees. Again, here I'm not going to do it, but that's how you could do it if you had different Odoo accounts. So that's it for today. For my presentation on invoicing for services companies. Just a quick note, if you decided that you wanted to invoice based on who's going to work on the project, I've told you and I've showed you that you can see the cost of who's working on the project. But let's say you decided that you want only one employee to work on a project and you're going to set it as a bunch of hours under their cost. For example, here I've created junior lawyer hours, which is going to be a service as well. And it's going to be, for example, $80 per hour spent on this project. And I've set it as being on timesheet on tasks and not creating any tasks. But so that's like how you could decide that, for example, it's going to be a cheaper price for the client because only a particular lawyer is going to work on it. Thank you so much for watching today. I don't know if you have any questions, Noel?
Yeah. I'm going to give people an opportunity to send in any last-minute ones that they might have. But overall, great presentation. I'd like to remind you all that we are wrapping up our Odoo tour, getting ready to release version 12 in October. So this is actually our penultimate English webinar before we go on hiatus for about 3 weeks. Last one will be tomorrow, and then we'll be picking up our English webinars again in October. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this webinar interesting, useful, and that way we can continue making these webinars for you. So yeah, let's go to our first question. Looks like it comes from Mario Delgado. How can another Odoo user notify me that a task and some timesheets need to be reviewed?
Oh, very easy, and that's something I can show you as well. Let's say that, again, you have your junior lawyer that has its own Odoo account, and they want to notify they've been working a certain number of hours, and maybe it's time to invoice a client or to review certain type of documents. You go under the tasks, created, which is the client call, and you can have, here you have a chatter. So on any Odoo app, you have this chatter option that's included. With the possibility to have different people following it. You can even add your client, so that each time you send a message, it's going to be sent to them, if they are contacts in Odoo, of course, first. And then you're going to be able to log a note. So the junior lawyer could be at Justine, please review my timesheets and prep for this client, and can log the note. What's going to happen is like this note is going to be appearing here once I receive it. Another way is that you can schedule an activity and assign it to, for example, your manager. So you can have different activities pre-configured. For example, very quickly, if I go, you can search anything here on Odoo. I can schedule different, I can create a type of activity. So I'm going to say timesheet review is going to be 1. I save it. And I have this activity. So let's go back to task. And I'm scheduling an activity, which appears here. Again, Odoo is greatly integrated. So I'm going to say, for example, I can put a summary, which is like review of my work, and then, hi, manager, please review this for the client. You can give them a due time, which can be, for example, on Thursday, and assign it to different people. Here, again, I have only one Odoo user, so I'm only able to assign it to myself, but anybody can assign it to anybody using the Odoo platform. And I'm scheduling it. So it's due today, it appears here. But it's also going to appear here. So you can review anything you have to be doing.
Excellent. We do have one more question here from Jennifer. This actually kind of deals with external timesheet information. So would you be able to import timesheet data? So if we use an app from our payroll company to track employee time?
I think you could have, like, there's different ways you can configure it. Actually, in Odoo, you have to add it on Odoo, on the timesheet app from the scratch. With some customization, however, and the help of a consultant, we can have any type of data imported on Odoo directly, and they would have, but that requires like customization to have like a whole like timesheets or whole like Excel spreadsheet imported in Odoo. But that's definitely possible. I just cannot show you right now because it requires customization.
Oh, I see. Okay. One last one from Jennifer here. So she is asking, would you be able, would employees be able to see the costs that their colleagues put in timesheets? So like if I am, employee A, would I be able to go on there and see what employee B has billed or whatever?
Yeah, great question. Don't you worry. On Odoo, as the admin of the database, which is going to be more likely to be the most senior person having access to all the data, you can restrict some access rights of your users. Therefore, your junior lawyer won't be able to actually consult the profile of your senior lawyer. That's something you do as an admin again, different type of like level of access rights. So therefore, they don't have access to the full information. But they will have access to the cost of the overall project, but not the cost of a certain employee.
Great. Excellent. Well, thank you all very much for joining us today. If you have any last minute questions, either regarding webinars or this particular topic, you can send them via email to webinars@odoo.com. Or if you would like to get in touch with Justine directly, you can send her an email. And what is your email address?
It's jvi@odoo.com, so please don't hesitate to contact me.
Exactly. So then, without, if there's nothing else to add, Justine, anything you'd like to add before we head out?
Great. No, thank you so much for watching from everywhere in the world today.
Excellent. Well then, until next time, this is Odoo Live signing off.
Thank you. Bye.